5 top tips on how to get more business out of your CRM. Today I'm joined by Mark Hinkins, who is boss man of sales for Rex, an Australian CRM firm who's beginning to take a bit of ground in the UK. Mark, what are your 5 top tips? What's number 1? Talk to me.
So number 1 in the top tips is looking at the data that you have in your system and ensuring that you have a minimal level of data quality. So what I mean by that is every single time that one of your team is registering a buyer, they know exactly what data points they should be collecting, and they're trained in a way which will allow them to ensure that all of those data points are filled, the data that you want to capture as an agency is collected, and it is entered into your CRM succinctly.
That sounds very simple, mate.
It is simple.
But do you see that an awful lot of agents don't do that?
Yeah, and it comes down to training, and it comes down to using a system that will allow you to actually succinctly and easily enter these data points. And it comes, mainly, as I said, it comes down to the training and constantly developing what you're doing.
And I'm assuming as a boss, once a week, just going into the CRM just to see how it's being inputted and not just accepting crap with no email addresses and telephone numbers and all that. Well,
yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. It's making sure that your staff are trained where they should be, and that you are actually holding them accountable to what they're doing, and that mainly that they know why they're doing this, so that it's going to benefit them and hopefully benefit what is coming into the business at the end.
Number 2.
So second point on this, and it actually ties around to the first point. Do you have data points for each bit of data that you need to store? And now, not every system will allow you to do this, but if you have the ability to create and customize the interface and create your own data points, what that allows you to do is have a real goal that you're trying to achieve, and it enables you to then have the data points that are going to enable you to achieve this. So if what you're trying to do is grow your managed portfolio organically, you need to be finding out who are the landlords in your area. You get a ton of buyers that are coming through. Are you asking every single buyer at the end of that conversation, are they also a landlord? And then are you further developing the conversation in there? So what's your portfolio size? Do you manage on your own? And if you can filter that data and provide a set of data at the end of the month, you will have maybe 30 buyers who have 300 properties in total that are managed themselves. And there's your market to go after.
And by knowing who they are, you can give them to the person to tickle them and nurture them.
Absolutely. But it needs to, within your agency, have a reason for doing this, and maybe even incentivize the team to do so as well.
What's number 3?
So number 3, and it ties back into the 1 and 2, is looking at those data points and having insightful information around them. So if you know that 50% of the buyers that you register come directly from Rightmove inquiries, then you're knowing where certain points of your market come from. Now, if you're dividing that up and segmenting it up even further, and you know that 50% of your buyers come in from Rightmove, and 60% of those have a property to sell, we know more about our audience. Now, if that's 60% who have a property to sell, of those, 80% are upsizing or upgrading, then you know exactly what message you should be getting out to the rest of your market to grow on the market that you already have.
Number 4?
So looking further at the segmentation of your data. So we've already just in number 3 talked about segmentation, but really then focusing on what your ideal client profile is from the data that again exists within your CRM. So leveraging that data, segmenting that data, and then really looking to build mailing lists, looking to build referral programs, whatever it is, to be focusing on that data to be getting more opportunities out of where you are already successful.
Fifth and final
one is probably the most important, and this is ensuring that you've got long-term follow-up set up within your database.
Would this be nurturing?
This will be nurturing. So, like we talked about, the more modern systems, the new agents CRMs that are starting to take more and more market share, have nurturing built into those systems, where probably the old transactional systems don't. And what that enables you to do is either set and forget, so that you're setting a specific process, and that's nurturing on your behalf, or it's prompting you to do something with nurturing or follow-up that is agent-led, for example, but as long as something exists and it's not a case of doing a valuation, not winning that valuation, and someone saying to you, give me a call in 12 months' time, it's not just the case giving them a call in 12 months' time. There are so many things that you could be doing in between to, again, build your profile and increase your chances of being the agent who's instructed in 12, 24 months' time, and making sure you're not missing out on opportunities.
If you don't mind me saying, all these 5 things that, whilst being very dull and boring, are actually consistent with being a successful agent. And I think we as agents sometimes forget about the process, thinking it's all about the people. And we are in a people business, but you still need to get the processes right, don't you? And that's where a good CRM comes in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's basics and processes done, but done really, really well. And it's making sure they do actually get done. So not just a time where you are, it's feast or famine sort of time, not at the time where you're just really, really struggling, but actually making sure that the entire process is consistent and the best practice that you have set up for your agency.
Thank you for your time today, Mark.